theswiftscripter here, and welcome to our first video on Unity scripting with C#. In this series, I'll guide you through the fundamentals of C# programming, how it integrates with Unity scripting API, and how to set up a basic Unity project for scripting. Now, before we get started, in the previous video, and I'll link the video down in the description below, the one I'm referencing, I was basically coding a lot, doing a lot of coding using C#, and it may have been unclear for some viewers. So that's why I am starting this video right after the one I just made for the Unity Engine series. So yeah, let's get started. To begin, let's talk about C#, the programming language we'll be using in Unity. C# is a modern, object-oriented language developed by Microsoft, and it's widely used for developing Windows applications, web applications, and of course, games using Unity. I don't know why I had a southern accent there. Anyways, here are some fundamental concepts you'll need to understand. Number one, variables. They're basically containers for storing data values. In C#, you can declare a variable with a type such as int for integers or float for floating point numbers. Number two, data types. Different kinds of data you can work with, such as integers, floating point numbers, strings, and booleans are considered data types. There are also operators. They're basically symbols that perform operations on variables and values, such as addition, which is marked by a plus icon, as well as a subtraction, which is marked by minus. And logical operators too, which I'll go over later, like and. There are also control structures. They basically control the flow of execution in your program, such as an if statement, a for loop, or a while loop. We also have functions, blocks of code that perform a specific task defined with the return type and parameters. Functions help you organize and reuse code. In this example, void means there is nothing being returned. Otherwise, you'd put something else like int or string or float to return that value. There are also classes and objects. They are core concepts in object-oriented programming, and a class is a blueprint for objects, whereas an object is an instance of the class. Here's an example. So understanding these fundamentals will help you get started with scripting in Unity. Now that we have a basic understanding of C#, let's dive into Unity's scripting API. Before we continue, you may be wondering what an API is, because that seems like a complicated abbreviation. So what it stands for is actually Application Programming Interface. And this is just an easy way of saying that there are two computer programs interacting with one another through this interface. Therefore, it offers services to other pieces of software. Anyways, back to the topic. Unity uses C# scripts to create behavior for your game objects. The primary way to do this is through MonoBehavior. Every script you create in Unity inherits from MonoBehavior, giving you access to Unity's powerful API. So MonoBehavior is the base class from which every Unity script derives. It provides several important methods, which you can look at the documentation for, and you can even override them to define your own game's behavior. There are also the start and update methods. They're two of the most commonly used methods in Unity scripts. Start is only called once before the first frame update. It's ideal for initialization. When you want, for example, you may want to get the component in start or set up some stuff like speed before the game starts. And then there's also update, which is called once every frame, meaning it's continuous. This is where you put your game's logic and it needs to be checked always. So understanding these methods and when to use them is crucial for scripting in Unity, and I'll be going more over these methods in another video. Now, let's start with a basic Unity project where we can start scripting. So first, create a new project, and I'll demonstrate how you do this. And since I already have a project named My First Unity Project, I'm opening this, but you create it doing this. Now, organize your project. Let's create a new folder called scripts to store all your scripts. And right in the scripts folder, just create a new C# script and name it whatever you like. For now, I'm calling mine the player controller. Now let's write our first script. Double click on the player controller to open it in your code editor, we're using Visual Studio to edit. And you'll see the default structure of a MonoBehavior script. Modify it to print a message when the game starts. Now we will want to attach the script to the game object. Once again, I go over this in my other Unity game engine series, how to do all this. Very simple stuff, but I'm just going to go through this quickly and I'll show you what it does. Once you create a new 3D object, like a cube for instance, you can drag the player controller script into it on the inspector window and then press play. Now in the console window, you can see the message, player controller script has started, indicating that your script is working. So in this video, just to recollect everything we went through, we've covered the basics of C# programming and introduction to Unity's scripting API. Understanding these fundamentals is crucial as we move forward in our Unity scripting journey. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video. We'll be diving deeper into Unity components and game objects. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all those things. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below or even email me. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.